I'll be taking a look at the Oath of Vengeance Paladin in this video. This is a powerful subclass for players who want to focus on dealing damage and punishing their enemies. They are also a good choice for players who want to play a more morally ambiguous character, as the tenets of the Oath of Vengeance allow for a certain amount of flexibility. I'll discuss all their offensive spells, oath spells, channel divinity abilities, aura features, and much more. I'll also show how each one can be used in combat. Use the timestamps in the description if you want to skip ahead to higher character levels. At level 1, the Paladin is already required to select a subclass. Those following the Oath of Vengeance immediately get the Inquisitor's Might. This adds 3 radiant damage to you or your ally's weapon for 2 turns. The Warhammer I'm using here is a regular one. After casting Inquisitor's Might, it can now deal radiant damage. The Oath of Vengeance tenets show the guiding principles that they must follow. Violating this tenets will turn you into an Oathbreaker. In general, their oath can be broken by helping or showing mercy to enemies. Watch this video to find out how the oaths of the different Paladin subclasses can be broken. Lay on Hands can be used to heal yourself or an ally. You start off with 4 hit points, but this gets stronger as you level up. I'll show this later in the video. Casting Divine Sense will give your attack roll advantage against Celestials, Fiends, and Undead. This Lesser Hellbore is a Fiend. Although we already have a good chance of hitting it, casting Divine Sense improved it further to 94%. For the ability scores, I'm taking the recommended values. But the most important ones for Paladins are Strength and Charisma. At level 2, Paladins unlock Divine Smite. This special feature is one of the signature abilities of Paladins. It adds radiant damage on 3 instances: weapon damage, reactions, and critical hits. The checkmark on the left is for activating it. Checking the Ask checkbox lets you decide whether to trigger it or not.
Shouldn't have made me your enemy.
Once a condition has been met, in this case, a successful weapon attack, you will be asked whether you want to trigger Divine Smite. Level 1 spells will be unlocked at this level. And you get to select a fighting style. Defense will improve your armor class by 1. Dueling gives a +2 damage to your melee weapon, provided it isn't a two-handed or versatile weapon, and you're not holding a weapon in your offhand. This also works even if you're carrying a shield. Great Weapon Fighting lets you reroll your damage dice if you rolled 1 or 2 while using two-handed melee weapons. Protection is my number 1 choice. This allows you to impose this advantage on enemy attack rolls, provided you have a shield equipped and your ally is within 1.5 meters away from you. In this fight, the enemy rolled 19. He only needs 14 to hit Astarion. Triggering protection forced him to reroll his attack at a disadvantage. His attack missed, and we can see why here. He only got 9 when he rerolled his attack. Note though that protection can only trigger once per turn. You can't use it anymore on subsequent attacks to Astarion, or any of your allies. I'm going to choose all the Smite spells. Searing Smite will set your target on fire, and will continuously deal fire damage for 10 turns, provided you maintain your concentration. Thunderous Smite knocks your opponent prone, and deals thunder damage. Wrathful Smite deals psychic damage, and frightens your target, preventing them from moving. At level 3, Paladins gain Divine Health. This gives them immunity to disease. If you've been to the swamps and stepped on one of the traps there, you'll start bleeding due to open wounds. This will eventually turn into a condition called rotting. The Paladin, due to Divine Health, is immune to this, unlike Gale and Astarion. Shadowheart, on the other hand, managed to make a successful saving throw. Vengeance Paladin gains 2 oath-specific actions at this level. Abjure Enemy frightens an enemy for 3 turns, preventing them from moving. If you cast this on a melee attacker like Dror, he will just stand there for 3 turns. He will not be able to attack you unless you get within melee range. You gain advantage on all your attack rolls against an enemy if you cast Vow of Enmity on him. The 80% chance to hit now became 96%. The first oath spells that a Vengeance Paladin unlocks are Bane and Hunter's Mark. Bane allows you to select up to 3 enemies and impose a 1d4 penalty to their attack rolls and saving throws. And Hunter's Mark deals an additional slashing damage to marked enemies. This requires concentration to maintain, so take care when casting this, especially at higher levels. This will unintentionally end higher, more powerful concentration spells. At level 4, Paladins receive another charge of Lay on Hands. They now have 4 in total, and they get to select a feat. Choosing Warcaster gives you advantage on your saving throws to maintain concentration spells. This is extremely useful because you get the Haste spell at level 9. It also allows you to cast Shocking Grasp as a reaction while performing an opportunity attack. To demonstrate this, I'll first use the command spell to force Fank to flee. When he runs away, it triggered an opportunity attack. We can select here whether to use the regular attack or Shocking Grasp. My Vengeance Paladin is concentrating on Hunter's Mark here.
Another step forward.
He was still able to maintain concentration after getting hit. We can see here from the concentration saving throw that he has advantage. That means he rolled 2 dice and used the higher result from the 2. At level 5, Vengeance Paladins get an extra attack, allowing them to attack twice per turn. They have also unlocked their level 2 spells. I don't find anything noteworthy with the level 2 spells here, except maybe Lesser Restoration for curing diseases. I mainly use these spell slots to upcast the Smite spells, which I'll get to later in the video. Vengeance Paladins unlock their second set of oath spells at this level. The Hold Person spell incapacitates a humanoid enemy. As long as you maintain concentration, the enemy can't move, act, or react, and attacks made within 3 meters are always critical hits. Misty Step is an extremely useful spell. It allows you to quickly reposition your character. In this fight, moving away from the ogres would result in them hitting me with 2 opportunity attacks. Using Misty Step allowed me to get away unscathed. Aura of Protection becomes available at level 6. This increases all saving throws of nearby allies, including the caster, by 3 points. No new spells are added at this level, but the Vengeance Paladin now has 9 spell slots. After being hit by Bloody Bonesaw, we can see the aura's bonus here. Had the Vengeance Paladin failed his saving throw, his movement speed would have been reduced by 50% for 2 turns. At level 7, Vengeance Paladins get the subclass feature called Relentless Avenger. This increases their movement speed by 4.5 meters when they hit an enemy with an opportunity attack. We can see here the initial movement speed of 9 meters. After hitting an enemy with an opportunity attack, it has now increased to 14 meters. We can select another feat at level 8, and I'm choosing Mage Slayer. This provides the Paladin 3 things. First, it gives the Paladin advantage on his saving throws against spells that are cast within 1.5 meters of him. Second, he immediately uses his reaction to attack the enemy casting the said spell. And third, enemies hit by his attacks now have disadvantage on their saving throws to maintain their concentration. In this fight against Philo the Forgotten, I'm just standing close to him, and not even performing regular attacks. Mage Slayer triggers every time he casts a spell.
Still breathing, despite everything.
What should I do?
No choice but to keep going. With haste.
At level 9, level 3 spells are unlocked. Warden of Vitality allows you to cast unlimited healing spells within 10 turns. Note though that Restore Vitality is a weak healing spell. It can only heal a maximum of 12 HP if you're lucky. Blinding Smite deals radiant damage, and blinds your target for 10 turns. Blindness imposes disadvantage on their attack rolls, and the maximum range of their spells and ranged attacks will be reduced to 3 meters. Elemental Weapon adds elemental damage to your weapon attacks. You can choose from acid, cold, fire, lightning, and thunder. It lasts until you take a long rest, but this requires concentration to maintain, severely limiting your spell choices in upcoming fights. Level 3 spell slots can also be used to upcast lower level spells. Here's one example. Searing Smite will deal a maximum of 27 damage when cast using a level 1 spell slot, a maximum of 33 damage using a level 2 slot, and a maximum of 39 damage using a level 3 spell slot. The Vengeance Paladin receives another set of oath spells at this level. Haste is extremely powerful. Unlike the Potion of Speed, this lasts for 10 turns. Casting it on Lae'zel, and using it with Action Surge allowed her to perform 6 attacks in 1 turn. Protection from Energy grants your target 50% resistance to the element of your choice. This lasts until you take a long rest or when your concentration is broken. We can see the effect here. At level 10, Vengeance Paladins receive another charge of Lay on Hands, and now has 5 in total. Greater Healing will heal 48 hit points, but requires 2 charges to cast, while Lesser Healing heals 24 hit points for only 1 charge. Lay on Hands can also be used to cure diseases and poison. The Aura of Courage provides you and nearby allies immunity to fear. So unless you're trying to specifically counter the fear effect or frightened condition, Aura of Protection is way more useful, as it provides +3 saving throws across the board. Before level 11, Divine Smite will deal 2d8 radiant damage. After getting the improved Divine Smite at level 11, it now deals an additional 1d8 radiant damage for a maximum of 24. Note that this is applicable to weapon attacks, reactions, and critical hits. At level 12, the Oath of Vengeance Paladin now has 15 spell slots, and he gets to select his final feat at this level. I'll be choosing Martial Adept. This is similar to the Battlemaster's maneuvers, but you only get 1 superiority dice.
Shouldn't have made me your enemy.
Sentinel is also not a bad choice. Or you can always go with Ability Score Improvement to adjust your ability scores. My next video will be about the Spores Druid. See you next weekend, and thanks for watching.